Okay, guys, I'm going to talk about some Dan Allender, baby. You're like, who's Dan Allender? Is he a writer? Is he just mean? I don't know. I think he is mean, though. I heard him speak in Austin, Texas. ATX, baby. You're like, okay, so get to the point. I gotta go on my Facebook or Google Dan Allender. Oh, he wrote some books called To Be Told, nigger. Holla. All right. This is not Dan Allender. Shut the You're like, okay. No, seriously. I'll lay my jokes aside. Sing a song to you about Shalom. You're like, who's Shalom? I don't know. Oh, here, for real. Before I go into Dan Allender. Oh, and also, here's the thing. Is that I'm pissed off at Dan Allender. I'm mad at him because he said something or he phrased something that is perfectly phrased. And I'm a little bit of a jealous hater. And I decide, you know what? Fuck it. I wish I could just pleasurize it. Okay, he wrote a book called To Be Told. To Be Told. You're like, to be told why? Like, where? Like, fuck you. All right. Do you know statistically most people don't read a single book after they graduate from college? Google it. I ain't lying. Holla. To be told. And he has a phrase in there that's called the shattering of shalom. The shattering of shalom. Man, is that not that is a writer's fret. Holy shit. Dan Allender. Way to go. Well played. I was about to say well played nigga, but he's like, I'm not nigga. I'm a Jewish looking guy. He's not Jewish, but he looks Jewish, dude. Oh, I was working out here in Malibu and talking to a Jew. No, for real, dude. I was at Malibu talking to a Jew. I'm from Oklahoma, so anytime I can get some knowledge, so I'm talking to this Jew guy, a Jewish guy, gentleman. I just asked him, is he Jewish? He said, yes. I said, can you tell me what Mama Lucia is? And of course, he didn't want to tell me. It's weird. He just didn't want to. And I sincerely have a love for the Jewish people and their customs. And the Mama Lucia is an accent or something. And I wanted to hear it. I wanted to see if he could speak to it. He kind of, told me, well, he could talk to his wife who knows some people, and his wife's a rabbi. And it's a Mama Lucia is it's a derivation of Hebrew we're losing it. So anyway, if you have any Mama Lucia I can listen to, I want to hear it. It's like a language that's going away. It's a beautiful language. And the Jewish guy, I'm going to call him Mr. Lucia at the Malibu place. He told me that Yiddish is basically a language of German Hebrew. I'm like, why would the Jewish people have a language that's based upon German dialect? I mean, that's so ironical. Anyway, back to Dan Allender. You're like, holy shit. I thought you were going to talk about To Be Told and shattering shalom. Okay. Shattering shalom. Why is that on my heart? Well, the story of our lives, and I don't want to go Joseph Campbell on you, but sometimes we just need things that kind of help us move forward. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and her husband, she has 4 children. Her husband just killed himself. So her husband, about 2 months ago or a month ago, killed himself. Left 4 children and a wife. And of course, initially there's the Facebook response where everybody's really just sort of tagging because it's the story of the day. But then after the popularity of that event fades away, that's when the real help needs to come in. And so I've been texting her, sending some pictures, sending her some nature pictures, something that I think that she'll like. And I want to be very careful that I don't try to help when I'm not, but I care about her and I know her family. I mean, boom. She kind of gave me an update, and I just told her, I said, man, go read this book by Dan Allender called To Be Told. Shattering Shalom, nigga. Holla. Dude. When you go through heartbreak or when you go through a shattering of shalom, in fact, I'm just going to pretend like I made that phrase up. Dan Allender did not say that. Fibonojji did. No, I didn't. You know, when you go through shalom, or when your shalom is shattered, initially, it's stages of grief, and we have to be compassionate that there's stages of grief. And some people respond differently to grief, and I don't think there's a lot of real communication, or there's a lot of good teaching on how to navigate grief. And grief's a bitch, man. Grief's a bitch. There's good grief, there's bad grief, there's Charlie Brown grief. There's even Lucy, Charlie Brown. Good grief, dude. We have to learn how to, or I invite you to learn how to move into grief, and how grief can be holy, and I don't want to go Joseph Campbell on you, but a lot of times good stories are when there's a shattering of shalom, and that's when things break, and that's when, boom. So what do we do? Well, initially when you have grief, or when in my life, when there's been grief, man, I tell you, I'll forever be more compassionate to people in grief after my season of grief, or through grief, because you lose things, like you lose friends, you lose jobs, you lose houses, you lose things because anyway, grief's an interesting thing. And then Dan Allender, in his brilliance, helps us navigate that a little bit, and he puts words on it, and he names it. He says a shattering of shalom. All right. We'll start there. Sometimes you just gotta, boom, baby. Sometimes we just gotta know what we're dealing with. We got shattering of shalom, nigga, holla. Some say you're crazy, say that you're no good. Say your family's cursed with bad luck. What's up, baby? I think you're cute. Wait. Shattering shalom. I wouldn't change you if that's a thing? Holla. Well, maybe that can help. My mind's made up. Gonna change, sure in my heart, happy and free. You're the one, you're the one, you're the one for me. Some say you're bitter, think you're mean, uncouth, untamed, unrestrained. I think you're sensitive and sweet. Stay as you see, sensitive and sweet. She looked right at me when she said that. She's like, baby, you're so sweet. Fibonojji, you're the hottest Chicago. I wish I had. Ain't gonna change. Sure in my heart, happy and free. You're the one, you're the one, you're the one for me. Boom. Some say your body wicked and wild, restless and useless, juvenile. I think you're funny and I like your smile. Wanna be with you, want you to stay a while. Let them talk you down, call your name. And then here's the bad news. The bad news is, if we don't navigate grief intelligently, if we don't navigate grief without, if we move into it without wisdom or understanding or compassion, it can just be a series of breaks. But when we use the beauty of story, can help us navigate those places, those spaces. That's what they say about